governments to promote peace, stability, and prosperity.
President Tinubu restates Nigeria's commitment to promoting peace, harmony, and prosperity across borders as he receives new envoys.
We must make sure that Nigeria is secure. Nigerians should go back and sleep with their eyes closed.
Assumes office, assures improved security.
UNESCO has reaffirmed its commitment to the progress and development of our country by hosting this UNESCO Center.
We're ready for Category 2 International Media and Information Literacy Institute. Nigeria tells UNESCO. Good evening, I am Jumma Yusuf. You're watching the NTA Network News live from Abuja. With the latest news coming up, in business, Benny Adams has updates on main events from the business arena. And in sports, Francisca brings you highlights from sports dashboards. As you join us, you can join us on our live stream on our website, on all the social media platforms displayed on your screen. Our other handles are displayed on your screen. Also, if you missed this broadcast, just go there, check. You won't miss anything. Thank you so much for joining us. Now to our survey for today. Our survey is on the expectations of Nigerians on the newly sworn-in Minister of Defense. What should the Minister of Defense give priority to? 1. Overhaul of security architecture. 2. Immediate onslaught on banditry and kidnapping. 3. Improved intelligence gathering mechanism. And 4. Inter-agency collaboration. And we begin with bilateral matters, as President Bola Tinubu has assured the global community that Nigeria remains fully committed to promoting peace, harmony and prosperity across borders by strengthening partnerships to resolve emerging challenges. The president gave the assurance after receiving letters of credence from 17 ambassadors and 4 high commissioners at the council chamber of the State House. State House correspondent Musbahud and Wahab reports.
It is the largest number of envoys ever received at once by President Bola Tinubu. They are from Japan, Republics of Chad, Gabon, Turkey, the State of Palestine, Kingdom of Spain, Indonesia, Mauritania, Austria, and Thailand. Others include People's Republic of Bangladesh, Sweden, Czech Republic, Liberia, Ghana, India, Poland, Italy, Slovak, Iran, and Barbados. President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria values the long-standing friendship and strategic partnerships across all regions of the world. He notes that the government remains focused on strengthening democratic institutions, driving economic reforms, and creating an enabling environment for investment, innovation, and sustainable development. The President believes that the new set of envoys will continue to work with the government of Nigeria to expand cooperation and partnership in areas of mutual interest.
We therefore encourage deeper engagement with Nigeria in trade, energy, agriculture, education, technology, defense, cooperation, and cultural exchange. The global community faces evolving challenges: security threats, climate pressures, economic instability, and humanitarian issues. Nigerians stand ready to work closely with your governments to promote peace, stability, and prosperity, both within our region and across the world.
New Japanese Ambassador Suzuki Hideo, on behalf of other envoys, expresses admiration for what he described as the visionary leadership of President Bola Tinubu and steadfast commitment to economic transformation.
Nigeria's constructive role within ECOWAS in promoting regional stability and democratic governance continues to reaffirm its great leadership on the African continent. Nigeria today stands as a beacon of resilience and promise. Mr. President, honorable ministers, Nigeria and countries represented here today are united by a set of fundamental values, including an open and inclusive international order underpinned by a strong commitment to democratic governance and rule of law.
The Presidential Guards Brigade honored the 21 new envoys, respectively. From the State House, Musbao Wahab, NTA News.
While General Christopher Musa has been sworn in as the new Defense Minister of the Government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu inaugurated the retired general into the Federal Executive Council at the Presidential Villa. Again, let's take a listen to Musbao Wahab's report.
Here is an assignment that could not wait much longer. The President, as much as Nigerians are longing for better results of improved security of lives and properties. General Christopher Musa, nominated by the President on Tuesday, expressly screened and confirmed by the Senate on Wednesday, is here for inauguration on Thursday. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and other key players joined the President to witness this moment. General Musa dropped the khaki he was used to for 34 years barely a month ago, following his relief as the Chief of Defense Staff. He's back in a familiar terrain in seemingly a civilian khaki to lead the Nigerian defense from an executive position.
So help me God. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulatory handshakes for the latest minister. But the expectation is a hand that will shake the enemies of state to surrender or perhaps be taken out. The Minister of Defense immediately received briefing from the Commander-in-Chief. Drastic and fruitful actions are expected.
I just met Mr. President and he reiterated his mind on the aspect that we must make sure that Nigeria is secure. Nigerians should go back and sleep with their eyes closed, go back to their farms, schools open without being molested, everyone being carried together to make sure that Nigeria continues to grow in line with the renewed program of the Mr. President.
And the minister says he is ready to give back to Nigerians who expect so much from him.
My immediate priority is to make sure that defense takes its place fully in the country. The synergy between the armed forces, and other security agencies, and all Nigerians being carried along, as we have always said, that security is everybody's responsibility. It is that synergy that we need to build on and work on it, and that's what we're going to. And I can assure you within the shortest possible time, Nigerians will see results. I want to use this medium to appreciate all Nigerians. Nigerians have shown me love, and I will guarantee them that I am going to work whatever it takes to ensure that Nigeria is secured, working together.
We're on all fours as far as that is concerned. Look, rain, thunder, sunshine, whatever it takes to get this mess under control. These guys need to be flushed out. Normalcy needs to return to our country. Laughter and joy has to come back to Nigeria within the shortest time possible. All we do is to pray for the best.
General Christopher Musa from Zangon Kataf, Kaduna State, since 1991, served in the Nigerian Army for 34 years. From the State House, Musbao Wahab, NTA News.
Indeed, the civilian khaki looks good on him, and so much expectations on the new Minister of Defense from Nigerians. And in the meantime, we hear President Bola Tinubu has transmitted to the Senate 2 lists of career and non-career ambassadors nominees for screening and confirmation. Now, the 2 lists of 34 career and 31 non-career ambassadors contains names of some notable Nigerians. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali tells us more.
The executive communication of the ambassadorial nominees read at plenary by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, this Thursday appears updated. Notable names like the immediate past sole administrator of Rivers State, Ete Bas, former Minister of Interior, Abdulrahman Dambazo, and Senator Itainang are among the nominees. The request was referred to the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, bringing to 68 ambassadorial nominees for screening. Plenary featured the second reading of bill that seeks the transfer of all social welfare programs to the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry.
To ensure that only genuine vulnerable households benefit from it. This bill mandates the maintenance of a register of beneficiaries and graduates, ensuring transparency,
devise ways and means of bringing them out of poverty, just like what China did in the early 80s.
There's a preparation in respect to a very big program that will bring succor to our people at the world levels, where a lot will benefit from that program.
Senate is also amending the Banks and Financial Institutions Act for effective regulation of online financial transactions.
Is to create a statutory basis for the central bank to designate fintechs, payment intermediaries, digital lenders, and other technology-enabled financial service providers as systemically important institutions where their operations pose systemic risk, data or national security implications.
Insurance coverage for their operations is paramount.
When it's enacted to law, it will also enable Nigeria to have more revenue.
When this framework is done and is implemented, you will see that Nigerians earn as much as their counterparts in other countries.
Senate adopted a motion urging federal governments to address lead poisoning in parts of Lagos and Ogun states, as it also appealed for the extension of Akure-Ore road rehabilitation to Okitipupa Igbokoda in Ondo State, as moved by Senator Jimoh Ibrahim.
Excluding Ore, Okitipupa Igbokoda roads from the ongoing federal government repairs effectively overlooked the only federal highway serving the oil community zone in the area.
Senate has passed the Nigeria Police Force Pension Board Establishment Bill to exit the police from the contributory pension scheme. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA.
Now to other news. The federal government of Nigeria has assured that all necessary machineries is working for the smooth takeoff of the UNESCO Category 2 International Media and Information Literacy Institute, Abuja, come February 2026. Now, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, while receiving officials from UNESCO Abuja office on a courtesy visit, says a pioneer director general of the institute will be announced soon. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Nation of International Media and Information Literacy Institute in Abuja.
It was a new dawn in Nigeria when on November 5th, 2025, the UNESCO General Conference in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, granted Nigeria the hosting right of the first UNESCO Category 2 International Media and Information Literacy Institute. The elected government spokesman assured UNESCO team that the administration of President Bola Tinubu is ready to make the institute one of the best global centers of learning.
I want to give you the commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that Nigeria will do whatever it takes to make the MIL Center one of the best in the world. At a time that some Nigerians are a bit pessimistic and some people from outside this country are unsure of what is going on in Nigeria, UNESCO has reaffirmed its commitment to the progress and development of our country by hosting this UNESCO center. For UNESCO is really a true friend of Nigeria, and we will continue to cherish this friendship. We will continue to work with you to advance the cause of mankind here and all over the world.
Nigeria is showing the example, not only in Africa, but also across the world. And we do believe that if we succeed in Nigeria, it is the whole Africa which succeeds.
When fully operational, the Institute will attract students and professionals to the land of the most populous black nation from across the world. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
And Saliu Abdullah Gwanara also reports that the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has backed the Business Day newspaper 2025 Award of Excellence in Public Service. The government spokesman at the occasion urged Nigerians to remain united, committed and purposeful as the federal government's efforts to build a secured Nigeria remain steady. The report.
It was a night of recognition and appreciation by a private organization to outstanding public servants with a positive impact in the implementation of the renewed hope policies across ministries, departments and agencies. The 5 pillars of the Ministry of Information and National Orientation under the watch of Mohammed Idris, redefining government communication strategy, promoting press freedom, that are adding value to the prospect of Nigeria's media ecosystem and attracting global attention was the basis of this recognition.
One key milestone in this journey is the establishment of the UNESCO Category 2 Media and Information Literacy Institute. The presence of this Category 2 Institute here in Abuja underscores the growing leadership that Nigeria has acquired in fostering an informed and ethical and resilient information environment. I am therefore very grateful that these collective efforts have been acknowledged on this esteemed platform here today. It is one that I believe celebrates excellence, celebrates reform and innovation in public service.
Participants, including former President Goodluck Jonathan, praised the forum as a unifier that should be harnessed to promote morals and professional ethical standards, good governance and accountability.
Interrogate our challenges and explore practicable and implementable solutions that can strengthen institutions, stimulate innovations, and drive inclusive economic transformation.
We continue to beat ourselves. Sometimes when you go onto social media, you continue to see negative comments about Nigeria. It's time for us to put that aside and do what other countries do, which is push out the positive.
This platform believes giving a pat on the back of outstanding public servants will enhance productivity, fast-track development, and strengthen national unity. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
There's more news on the other side of the break. Don't go away. Thanks for joining us. And now, talking legislative matters, the House of Representatives wants urgent procurement of security equipment to enable the Nigeria Police Force tackle the nationwide emergency declared by President Bola Tinubu. Now, this is one of several resolutions adopted by lawmakers at Thursday's plenary. National Assembly correspondent Mitere Ipen reports.
The security emergency declared by the president naturally comes with expectations for results, and lawmakers harp on the need for deployment of state-of-the-art security equipment. To boost the capacity of the Nigeria Police Force at combating security threats, the House has asked the Nigeria Police Trust Fund to come up with a comprehensive plan to upgrade and deploy critical equipment across police divisions and security formations nationwide, urging the Federal Ministry of Finance to expedite the procurement processes.
Including tenders, vendors, evaluation, contract awards, and procurement of vehicles, surveillance and communication equipment, prioritize distribution of equipment and logistics assets to high-risk and conflict-prone zones identified in the Security Emergency Declaration.
On the alleged removal of computer science and some foundational subjects from the revised secondary school curriculum, the House called on the Federal Ministry of Education to rescind the decision.
It is worrisome that at a time when the world is going digital, especially in the educational sector, and Nigeria is trying to catch up, that you remove a fundamental subject like computer science. How will such students learn the basis? Removing computer science at this jet age from our school curriculum, I don't think it makes sense.
Lawmakers sought investigation into the revocation of more than 4,000 mining licenses from 2023 to date without adequate notice.
Worried that Section 5 of the Mining Act mandates that license holders must be given adequate notice, fair hearing and compliance timelines before revocation, and such action must be justified.
The House also expressed concern that the Abakaliki-Obubara Federal Highway has become a death trap owing to its deplorable conditions.
Urge the federal government, through the Federal Minister of Works, a matter of necessity, to mobilize the contractor back to the site in order for them to immediately commence the construction of the abandoned Abakaliki-Ikwo-Ofrekpa and Obubara Road.
A bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act and provide for establishment of National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission was passed after consideration by the Committee of the Whole. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
And Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has applauded women in the Nigeria Police Force for walking through gender barriers to hoist the flag of the nation through their excellent service at home and abroad in the last 7 decades. This was at the commemoration of the 70th years anniversary of women in policing in Nigeria. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
From the first set of 20 women who defied convention and joined the Nigerian police force in 1955, the rank of women police in the country has swollen. Many of them now at the front line, hoisting Nigerian flag and leading strategic commands across the country. 7 decades on, their hearts still beat for service as their feet march in a metronome of service and resilience. Celebrating the historic milestone with them, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu acknowledged their evolution and contributions to policing in the country.
This celebration is a testament of a shared global commitment to justice, equity, and the protection of human dignity. For 7 decades, Nigerian women have stood on the front lines of peace, law enforcement, and community safety, contributing to our national stability and the broader pursuit of a safer, more inclusive world. The sheer audacity of their decision broke barriers and laid the foundation upon which thousands of women now serve with distinction across our beloved nation.
She says, after 70 years of breaking stereotypes and shaping policing in Nigeria, it is now time to inspire the next generation of women police.
To the girls and young women who may be watching this ceremony, if you feel the call to serve our great nation, know that there is a place for you. This uniform symbolizes service, dignity, honor, and responsibility.
Their footprints stretch across UN peace operations, African Union missions, and global policing platforms where Nigerian women have stood out for professionalism, for their courage, and for their emotional intelligence.
Ability, not gender, will continue to define assignment and advancement in the police, says IGP Kayode Egbetokun, as he assures of more institutional frameworks to promote gender mainstreaming in the force.
Let it be a renewal of promise, a recommitment to excellence, and a proclamation that the Nigerian police force is ready for a future where gender equity is not aspirational, but a lived reality. To every female police officer, past, present, and future, we see you, we value you, we celebrate you, and we stand with you.
For believing that inclusion is a security strategy, not a slogan. We applaud you, sir, for commanding a force where women rise by merit. We honor you, sir.
This story of women in policing is one that is marred with persistence in the face of adversity, of breaking barriers that were rigid and impenetrable, and continuously reshaping a foundation that included a niche for both men and women to flourish.
Goodwill messages led by Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Aminat Mohammed, highlight the contributions of women police in Nigeria to foreign peacekeeping missions and strategic operations in the country. The 70th anniversary Women in Policing badge was unveiled at the event by the First Lady, who was also honored with an award as Mother of Nigerian Women Police. From Police Resource Center, Abuja, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Now let's bring you up to speed with other news. As automation rises and skills demand evolves, Nigeria's future of work depends on how well its generations collaborate. The Industrial Training Fund is charting a new path, one that shifts the conversation from generational gaps to generation synergy. Musa Abubakar reports.
In a world where the workplace is evolving faster than ever, the Industrial Training Fund is stepping forward to bridge one of the most defining challenges of modern organizations, managing a multi-generational workforce. At this stakeholder interactive forum theme, Decoding Multi-Generational Workplace from Gaps to Advantage, leaders from government, industry and labor converge to explore how age diversity can shift from a source of tension to a catalyst for growth.
When we train you, ITF will follow up and see the effect of our training. If any office is not doing that, that is not the tradition of ITF. They have to go back and start that.
With 4 generations now coexisting in Nigeria's workforce, differences in communication styles, work ethics, and digital fluency can affect productivity. But experts here argue that with the right training and leadership strategy, these differences can actually become powerful advantages.
This multi-generational workforce is not a problem to be solved, but a strategic advantage waiting to be unlocked.
For the Industrial Training Fund, the objective is clear: to equip employers and employees with the tools, skills, and mindset to thrive in a diverse workplace. From digital literacy to leadership development, the ITF believes continuous training is the bridge that connects generational gaps. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
And the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pati, has urged the European Union to step forward and assume a strong leadership role in global public health. This was contained in an address to the International Development Committee of the European Parliament at the EU headquarters in Brussels, Belgium. Reflecting on the significant progress achieved over recent decades in combating HIV, tuberculosis and malaria through global solidarity and strong multilateral cooperation. Professor Pati emphasized that Europe's upcoming financial commitments to the Global Fund should align with the continent's economic capacity.
That partnership with Africa remains a strategic priority for Europe, not an option. I believe that we all win if we invest in taking care of our basic humanity. So I plead that we choose courage, we choose partnership, and we choose to finish what we started.
The National Security Advisor says sustainable peace cannot be achieved by security forces alone, but by a whole-of-society approach to prevent violence and conflict across northern Nigeria. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was at a forum organized by the National Peace Committee in Abuja.
Justice and security space.
The message here is clear and urgent. Those who destroy in the name of justice betray justice. The National Security Advisor says peace cannot be outsourced. It must be built collectively, advocating communities and development partners to work in harmony.
Let me therefore use this medium to deliver a clear and firm warning to non-state actors. They are there. The Nigerian state remains resolute in its commitment to law, order, and the protection of its citizens. Any individual or group seeking to exploit communities, spread terror, or undermine national unity will face decisive, coordinated, and uncompromising action.
We support Nigeria in its effort to fight violence and insecurity across the country and address the complex drivers of conflict.
The agreement here is that the country's security challenges can no longer be tackled through the kinetic approach alone.
The whole of society approach means that government must lead, but with humility, transparency, and justice. Religious and traditional rulers must guide, but with courage, to confront extremism, even within their own communities.
Coming together is very important. Talking to one another is very important. But we must do so with all honesty, sincerity, and with the fear of God, knowing that we don't see God. but God sees us and sees our actions.
Officials reiterate that those seeking to exploit communities or undermine national unity will face decisive and coordinated action. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
In Kano, the nation's top government officials are converging with one mission to reshape the engine room of Nigeria's public service. The 47th National Council on Establishment has opened with a firm charge from the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, DD Esther Wilson Jack, urging stronger coordination, harmonized standards and full compliance with modern services. And our detail will come in our subsequent bulletin. And moving on, the All Progressives Congress National Leader of Persons with Disabilities, Are Jurotolu Oyebode Bankole, has strongly appealed for legislative frameworks to promote equality and engender inclusivity in governance in line with international declarations and prohibition acts against discrimination of persons with disabilities in Nigeria. He said this while addressing journalists in commemoration of the 2025 International Day of Persons with Disabilities at the National Secretariat of the governing All Progressives Congress, APC.
I call on federal government, states, and local governments to accelerate full implementation and domestication of the Disability Act, where it has not yet been adopted.
He appealed to the private sector and other partners to always align with the UN resolutions on persons with disabilities and join hands in propagating the theme for this year's celebration. Talking about celebration, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has joined family, friends and well-wishers across the country in celebrating Prince Samuel Adedoyin, an extraordinary industrialist, philanthropist and founder of the Doyin Group of companies, on his 90th birthday. In a letter to the celebrant, President Tinubu described Prince Adedoyin as a national icon with decades of footprints in the manufacturing sector of the national economy, a patriarch of uncommon vision, discipline and generosity. The president prayed that the Almighty grants him continued grace, strength, peace and joy in the years ahead. And it's now time to join our Lagos studio where Adeola Kame is standing by with news from that axis. Hello, my dear friend.
A new system aimed at shaping the future of Africa's payments ecosystem has been officially presented to stakeholders and policy players in the economic sector. Bolaji Akim, who was at the inaugural PAPS Cowrie conference, reports that the system is set to break the barrier created artificially by non-existing factors.
Payments. It is a forum put together towards creating efficient, secure and sovereign payment systems for exchange of goods and services in the African continent, which is believed to have a fast-growing market. Tagged PAPS Cowrie Lagos 2025, an initiative of Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. The forum provides opportunities for stakeholders to rub minds and take holistic look at regional trade in Africa, with the role of PAPS in creating seamless and convenient means of sovereign African payment ecosystem for trade and economic growth.
So in 1963, they saw the need for us to be able to have interoperable payments on the continent. This is the cardinal principle of PAPS. So we created it as an ecosystem that will have all of us together in a way that we are able to enable and empower each other.
Key players in the sector believe Africa cannot achieve a stable monetary and continental trade when over 80% of its intra-African payments depends on the liquidity of currency that are not its own.
The PAPS Cowrie provides a platform for us to set our own agenda, exchange ideas, and forge new partnerships that will drive African economic transformation.
It eliminates unnecessary FX conversion. It compresses settlements from days to seconds.
All of us must accelerate
the implementation of PAPs because it is at the heart of the economic sovereignty of our continent.
With presence in 19 countries, participation of 160 commercial banks, 15 switches, and 9 fintechs since its establishment, PAPs is determined in ensuring a stronger, more connected and oriented economy. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
The Nigerian Navy has extended its hand of military-civil relations in Iruland in Etiosa local government through a free medical outreach hosted by Naval Dockyard Limited at the Palace of the Oba of Iruland. Hingino John Adams reports that hundreds of residents benefited from the gesture.
Defenders of Nigeria's territorial waters stepping outside their core duties to care for the citizens. Residents of Iruland came out in their numbers to be part of the free medical outreach by the Naval Dockyard Limited, which include dental services, blood pressure tests, blood sugar, malaria, and other screenings, as well as eye checks. Oniru of Iruland commended the Nigerian Navy for the act of kindness.
Aside from the medical outreach program, they also do a lot in terms of making sure that our community remains safe.
The Admiral Superintendent, Naval Dockyard Limited, Rear Admiral Eleojo Shehu, represented by the General Manager Plans, Komodo Igbani Umazi Agu, said the gesture goes beyond Medicare to enlightenment on preventive health.
This medical outreach largely was informed by the need to give some succor to those that may have one medical issue or the other and may not necessarily have access to be able to reach out to qualified medical experts.
For the beneficiaries, the free medical outreach is a relief.
They can see our old ones, the aged ones are here. We too, the ballers, we are here.
We pray that they are coming. God will continue to bless them.
Drugs, glasses, insecticide-treated nets, among others, were distributed to the people. In Lagos, Hingino, John Adams, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. The network news will continue in Abuja with Jumai Yusuf after this break.
Well, it's that time we talk business. The Pension Transition Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, says it has paid more than 1 trillion naira to 212,385 pensioners as monthly pension from 2015 to October 2025. This was at a one-day capacity building workshop for pension correspondents and online editors in Abuja. The DG PTAD Olutokpe Odunaya representative says PTAD inherited an estimated 304 billion of unfunded pension liabilities, but has secured presidential approval for the liquidation of 39.2 billion naira arrears owed to parastatals covering the period from August 2015 to July 2023. Rolling out some of the achievements so far recorded, PTAD says it has secured presidential approval for emergency budgetary funding of 45 billion for implementation of 32,000 naira, which is 10.66% and 12% pension increment for all eligible pensioners on the payroll, noting that as partners in progress, the directorate relies on the media, especially pension reporters, to ensure that the mandate is fulfilled.
Correct all misrepresentations and inform them of the next steps we intend to take as we work hard to ensure that the welfare of our pensioners is sustained.
Now moving on, the 2025 Subnational Ease of Doing Business report has been released, with Lagos State emerging The very first, followed by Kaduna or your FCT, leading Nigeria's business competitive. Lagos State emerged the best performing state with 85.6% score, while Kaduna second with 65.1% score. Oyo, FCT, and Ogun rounded up the top 5 with scores of 62.7%, 61.0%, and 59.9% respectively. Enugu 56.2 came in sixth position with Plateau 56.2%. Ekiti followed Kano as well as Nasarawa, rounding up the top 10 states. These states distinguished themselves through consistent reform momentum, improved digital processes, and more predictable regulatory environments. The 2025 report also highlights 5 basic priority areas.
Nigeria, and that's the culture that we're trying to imbibe into our society. So we want more accountability in public services. We want to streamline regulations. We want to get to a place where in Nigeria we self-regulate ourselves.
Well, that's it. We'll talk about markets at this time. The Nigerian equities market closed slightly bullish on Thursday, extending the previous session's gains, with the benchmark all-share index up 0.10%, with 27 decliners against 22 gainers. As such, investors' wealth rose by 97.6 billion naira, with market capitalization closing at 92.37 trillion naira. South Africa is down by 0.39%, while Tunisia is up by 0.34%. That is it on business at this time. Jumai, you can take it.
Thank you, Benny. So much happening in the world of business as the year begins to wind down.
Yeah, sure.
Now let's shift our attention to education, as the federal government says another significant milestone under the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET initiative, with the commencement of the first tranche of direct financial payments to students and independent technical vocational centers nationwide. Minister of Education Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa says over 42,000 young Nigerians have received their monthly stipend of 22,500 naira, which covers their monthly upkeep and transportation. And over 600 independent technical and vocational training centers have also received payments for instructional and skills training. They are providing to these students and ensuring the quality and continuity of the training programs. He adds that the TVET is another success story under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, demonstrating his belief that Nigerian youth are the heartbeat of the nation. We'll take another break. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to Sports Updates. Now, Nigeria Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong has announced his retirement from international football at the age of 36. The Netherlands-born defender made this decision after Nigeria failed to qualify for the 2026 World Cup, which will be hosted by the United States, Canada and Mexico. Troost-Ekong shared a message on X along with a video saying, "Honored, grateful, forever a Super Eagle." The central defender has appeared in 83 matches for the Super Eagles and scored 8 goals. He represented Nigeria in several major tournaments, including 3 AFCONs, the most valuable player, AFCON 2023 in Cote d'Ivoire.
I've thought back to that exact moment. And yeah, it's been so nice, so many great memories, amazing tournaments, and being part of a group which has become like a family to me. In 2015, when I had my first call-up under Stephen Keshi, I couldn't believe that I was there. For me to grow into becoming a captain of the team is something that I couldn't have even imagined at the start of it. So many great memories and so many amazing moments to be part of.
Now, at the inaugural West African Para Games held in Abuja, Nigeria topped the medals table with 59 gold, 39 silver and 31 bronze medals. Benin Republic and Ghana took second and third place respectively, followed by Cameroon and Cote d'Ivoire in the top 5. Nigeria secured the final gold medal with its amputee football team beats Liberia 1-0. That's it on Sporties. Back to Jumai.
Francisca, and we wish our captain, the best in his future endeavors. Now, moving on, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has expressed sadness over the tragic loss of 6 lives in a motor accident which occurred in Kogi State on Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. In a condolence message where she commiserated with the governor, families of victims and people of Kogi State, the First Lady said her thoughts and prayers remain with those who are grieving during this difficult time. She prayed that God grants repose to the dead, comfort the bereaved families, heal the injured, and give strength to all those who have been affected. And more dignitaries have continued to pay condolence visits to the family and people of Kogi State over the demise of Etsu Basange Kingdom Abu Ali. The latest is the Etsu Nupe Yahya Abubakar, who described his late senior colleague as an excellent and committed leader who served the nation with passion. Jacob Sani reports that the Etsu Nupe was accompanied during the visit by the Megari of Lokoja Ibrahim Gambo Kabir Makarfi IV.
Of the Etsu Basange Abu Ali. During the visit, a special prayer session led by the Chief Imam Basange Kingdom, Ibrahim Kaula, was held. Thereafter, the visitor went to the graveyard for another solemn prayer. The Emir of Nupe says he lost a brother who believed in diligence in all he did.
He was a good leader. I can testify to that. I was under his command for many years before actually assuming the position of the Emir.
And now to our survey for today, we asked you on what you want the new Minister of Defense to give priority to. Now, 60% of you say immediate onslaught on banditry and kidnappings, 22% want overall of security architecture, another 13% are of the opinion that the country needs to improve intelligence gathering, and 4% say there should be improved interagency collaboration. And that's Network News for tonight. Thank you so much. On behalf of the crew, I am Jumma Yusuf. Thanks for watching.